Yes, hey, how's it going?
Hi, good afternoon, Mayor Adams.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to talk about Roosevelt Island issues.
Yep, it's a beautiful place, one of the hidden gems.
Thanks. So I'm just going to get right to it starting. So as you know, Roosevelt Island is rather unique in terms of its governance. We're governed by the state of New York under a 99-year lease with the city. The lease expires in 2068. There have been issues revolving around whether or not the lease is going to be extended. Are there any current negotiations going on over the particular lease? Would the city be interested in taking it back from the state and running it like any other neighborhood? And would residents of the island be better off if they were governed by the city of New York like any other neighborhood, as opposed to a public benefit corporation run by the state of New York? I was wondering if you had any thoughts on that.
Well, 2068, 2069, or, whatever the year exactly is, I'm hearing two different years from people. But, clearly that is a long way from now. I don't think I'm gonna be mayor that long. But no matter what we do with Roosevelt Island, we should have the input of the residents to determine their destiny. I think that's crucial. And I support how those who live there, who have made it a vibrant community, how they believe is the best way to run it. And I think that there's going to be many conversations and many layers leading up to what is going to happen around then.
Well, it does appear to be a very long way off, except discussions have started recently, because there are issues for commercial property owners regarding getting financing for their buildings. There are potential issues for residential property owners in terms of future mortgages. Mortgages are 30 years out, and banks may start being a little bit leery, knowing that there's this unknown about what's going to happen in the future. So it does appear to be far off, but it's really not.
Yeah, we're talking what, 40-something years?
Yes.
Mortgages are typically 30-year mortgages. And even if there's a change as the city runs it or Roosevelt Island runs it, we're not talking about like Hong Kong returning to China, still going to be in New York. And I will be really challenged to believe that someone is not going to be able to secure a mortgage if it's the city or if it's a separate island. But in any case, within those 40 years, we need feedback from those who are living there now. What are the pros and cons? And I think that the residents that live there should have a major input on how they would like to continue to see the island ran currently.
Okay. One of the big quality of life issues for residents is transportation on the island. It's very difficult at times, getting on and off both on the subway and on the tram, and particularly on the tram, because it has become really like the Empire State Building in terms of being a tourist attraction. And there are times when the line to get on the tram, which is on 2nd Avenue and 60th Street, extends almost to 3rd Avenue. And it can take, residents, an hour to get an hour or more just to get on the tram cabin. So there have been suggestions by residents and elected officials like Rebecca Seawright and Julie Menon and former Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney to somehow create a separate queuing line for residents and workers during times when it's really, really crowded. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. And it's almost unimaginable when one of the only primary ways you can get there and back was through the tram. So it's a great addition. I'm a former transit cop, so I thought it was a great addition. When we now have a subway stop as well, and I think that's a real W for the residents there. But I'm also excited that the MTA is going to be bringing Omni. We found that Omni has allowed a faster movement. But I think that having a designated line or designated movement for those who are coming to and from the location for one reason or another, they could decide on who would fit that criteria. But I think the Assemblywoman and the council person, they have some great ideas. And Councilwoman Menon is just filled with great ideas about moving commerce and making sure we continue to have a good city.
Mhm. Do you have any idea when Omni is coming to the Roosevelt Island Tram? Because it's been delayed many, many times before. And the last we heard, it was supposed to be the end of the second quarter of this year, and that's today.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it's this year. And you know me, I don't like delays. We need to get stuff done. So we're extremely hopeful. In my conversation with the MTA, we're looking to do it this year.
Okay. One of the other questions is revolving about, so we're governed by the Roosevelt Island Operating Corporation, and there are board directors who you have two nominee suggestions for the board, and you recently made one nominee, Lydia Tang. I was just wondering how you decided on Ms. Tang and what process you used to appoint or nominate REAC board director.
I really like not to allow myself to get mixed in the appointment so that no one can ever believe that I'm attempting to influence the board's outcome. I have an appointment secretary for boards, and they went through a necessary vetting process and looked over all of the applicants to make sure we come up with the best person. I leave that up to them. This way, no one can ever say the mayor is attempting to influence board members. I like boards being independent and do based on their knowledge and body of work.
So the nominees would go through this particular appointments office, and they will control the process. That's how it works.
Yes, and each deputy mayor has a portfolio under them of boards that are closely aligned to what is in their portfolio. And that is what we did here. The appointment secretary sits down with the deputy mayor, and they go through an extensive process of getting applicants, looking over them, vetting them, and coming up with a final determination.
Okay.
And she is she is an active member of the Roosevelt Island community.
No, she is. Oh no, she's
right.
Been here for no, absolutely. I wasn't questioning, her appointment. I was just wondering what the process was.
Yeah. We looked over her application. When you think about 10 years in the financial industry, understanding how to make sure Roosevelt Island runs smoothly in the economics. And you know what? It's difficult to say no to a college professor, particularly when there's mathematics.
Okay. Who is the deputy mayor who's responsible for Roosevelt Island?
I'm not sure, but I think it will fall under, based on the description, it will fall under probably Deputy Mayor Maria Torres Springer. But we'll find out and circle back and let you know exactly who it is. Okay,
great. Also, one of the other issues involving really the jurisdiction of the city on Roosevelt Island is in regard to the steam plant on Roosevelt Island. So New York Health and Hospital Corporation's steam plant, which used to provide electricity to Goldwater Hospital, which is now Cornell Tech, and Kohler Hospital, which is still in existence. It's been out of service for a very long time. There have been reports that it's been damaged, and in the event of another hurricane, it could cause significant damage to Roosevelt Island. I was wondering if the city has heard anything at all about this, if you know what the status of any particular repairs are. One of the problems is who has jurisdiction to pay for it, the state or the city, and that's been kind of holding things up.
No, I haven't, and we need to look into that because I didn't realize that. And we'll get clarification exactly who's responsible for the payments, but I have not heard that at all. The number one thing I heard people were concerned about was the hospital. Was it going to close or not? And it's not going to close. Those are rumors that people have stated. I think H&H is the best deal going in our city, but I have not heard about the issue around the damage to the steam location. But we'll look into that and get back to you.
Maybe I can follow up later with you on that particular issue.
Yep. Okay,
that's great. And as you said, you're not aware of any issues regarding Kohler closing, and it's not going to be closing in the near future.
No, just rumors, unfounded. H&H is all in.
Yeah, okay, great. I was wondering if you also, there were a list of community concerns that had been sent to your office a while ago through Rebecca Seawright's office.
Mhm.
Have you seen that? You had told me once that it was being given to one of the deputy mayors. I was just
Yeah.
wondering the status of that.
Jose, please find out which one. I know there was a response to those concerns. We had a great meeting over there. And again, I think Roosevelt Island is a hidden jewel, and we'll find out each one, and we like to make sure we get back to each one of the issues that were raised. Jose will circle back to you and see if there was a response to the Assemblywoman's office.
All right, great.
We'll work
great.
on that.
Okay. Just I was wondering, do you have what your impressions are of Roosevelt Island? Your favorite thing to do here? Are you coming back to visit soon?
I wish they moved Gracie Mansion in Roosevelt Island. That is just, I think that is a gift. I love there is a restaurant on the top floor. I believe it's connected to the school that you could just see all around. I have to get back over there. I was there once when mayors were in town and they were just really blown away. I just think Roosevelt Island is a hidden jewel. And you have to be really blessed and special to be able to live there. I love the sports park, recreation center. And believe it or not, you talked about the tram, but where else can you have just an amazing view commuting to and from work than the tram? It's just unbelievable when you think about it. Part of your own daily commute, just taking the tram.
Yeah, it's really breathtaking at times.
It is.
So in terms of, you finding a replacement for Gracie Mansion, we have a historic farmhouse from the late 1600s called Blackwell House, which has been renovated. And there are a couple of rooms available up there if you want to get a desk.
That sounds like a plan. Is it open now?
It is open now. It is open now. And when you next visit, you can take a tour and maybe we'll transfer you over from Gracie Mansion.
Like that. Is that a state location, or is it?
No, it's a state. Yeah, REOC did well, the city provided some funds for the restoration as well. But it's operated by the Roosevelt Island Operating Corporation. The president of the Roosevelt Island Operating Corporation uses one of the rooms as one of his offices. So
that's going to be my next visit.
All right, well, let me know about that.
We'll do.
Just one, I know you're on a timeline here, but one quick question.
Yes.
Just in terms of the media, could you describe a little bit about the role you see for local community and ethnic media in the city and how it compares with, the mainstream media?
Well, Jose will tell you, I do these local and ethnic media roundtables. I don't know if there's ever been a mayor that is more open to our local and ethnic media. I think there's a quality of reporting that's different. You're about quality news and not just how many clicks you could get from sensationalism. And what we would like to do, our current communication director is moving on. We're going to look at an entirely new process. We want to get the news to you in a package that you don't have to worry about how do you write it out or what have you, to keep you informed, because we know you're short-staffed and you're working on really shoestrings budgets. Our goal is to do advertisement with you and give you the news that can be reported. And so we're looking to find out ways to do it in an easier way so you can communicate the updated and the items that are in our city.
Okay, looking forward to seeing that initiative, and I thank you for your time.
Okay, be well, take care.
Right.
You're gonna have a great view for the 4th.
Yeah, you should come over for that too.
Yes, we last year we walked through. We're gonna look forward to doing it this year also.
All right. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the 4th.
Okay, do the same.
Thank you.